and welcome to the next session of Fast 15. Today with me I have Bernadette Janson. Welcome, Bernadette.
Thank you, Amelia.
You're welcome. Yeah, well, it's nice to have you. Bernadette runs the School of Renovating and has done for a number of years, over 7 I think. And during that time she has been able to support many women and men in their renovating dreams. And so we welcome her today, and she's going to speak a little bit about some of her stories that she's done and go through how and why and what she's done with My Property Circles. So let's get started.
Thank you.
Now, actually, before we start, I just want to say that any advice that you hear here today is general advice. We obviously haven't taken into consideration your personal circumstances. And so we really recommend that if you're coming to join a property circle, that you seek financial advice. So whether that's from your financial planner or your accountant, make sure that it's the right investment for you. So can you tell us a little bit about the School of Renovating?
Yeah, so basically we're a family business. So I am obviously the lead person, but my husband's a construction specialist and David's an architect. So we're the complete deal.
Good.
And
we have a family business.
Yeah, so we've been renovating for around 35 years.
Amazing.
And we started the school because mainly because women, as we know, are usually quite financially disadvantaged, and they often don't realise it until they're approaching retirement.
Yes.
And I have used renovating in order to be able to be financially independent and resilient. And I established a process for producing around $100,000 per project with renovating, and a lot buy, renovate and sell flips, but we also have strategies for buy, renovate and hold.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
and it's a really powerful way for anyone, like we do have quite a few blokes in our program as well, to, get, build their capacity financially.
Yeah, and also have fun renovating. Everybody loves renovating.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think also that's another thing for women, that we have that innate skill to make our home beautiful.
Yes, yeah, from nesting.
Exactly.
So can you tell us about your first experience with My Property Circles?
Yeah, so I've probably done 8 or 9 joint ventures, but I always found them quite stressful because they represented risk for us as a company. Okay. And also for me, I just found the whole legal side of it a real, a source of anxiety.
Okay, yeah.
And so when My Property Circles came along, I decided to test it out because it didn't seem to matter how often I listened to the process. Couldn't quite figure out how it was going to work.
Yes.
And so we did our first project mid last year, and I assembled a group of 4, including myself. We had 2 women who'd done a project together and hadn't really done all that well. So I wanted to nurture them through one to try and figure out, to help them get more competent.
Yes, great.
And so we bought at the beginning of COVID. And so everyone was in a wait and see attitude. And I thought, you know what, we'll just, we'll be cautious, but we'll move forward and we'll just see what happens. Yeah. And
good on you, because it was a pretty scary time to know what was going to happen. Yeah,
but I had some pretty good buffers built in, and sometimes, I just sometimes think if you sit around waiting forever, you miss opportunities, and that was certainly the case. So that project had 4 people. We had mixed skills. So one woman was a spreadsheet queen, one was a style queen, one woman was an epic cleaner.
I think I need her number.
Exactly. And, of course, I was the renovator. So we nominate one person to project manage, and for that one, because it was a teaching opportunity, I was the renovator. And I really loved the My Property Circle structure because it just meant that I could focus on what I'm good at and I could leave all the legals to you and all that set up, and it went beautifully. Really, and the other thing that's really great about the structure is that it sort of takes away a lot of the tax complexity in a project. So it sort of the burden is distributed evenly amongst the members, which is quite good. So we made just over 100,000 profit in a 5-week renovation.
Amazing.
Yeah, and did really well. And we've got some photos of it on the screen now.
Yes, isn't it beautiful? Look at that transformation. Just beautiful. Yeah. I particularly love the paneling in the kitchen.
Yes, so renovators often talk about managing their budget, and that's a really critical part of the process. And going over budget is obviously something you like to avoid, but sometimes you've got to know when to go over budget.
Yes.
And originally we were planning to do quite a dramatic black kitchen in this reno, but I was standing out the front of the building watching people come and go as I was waiting for trades, and I realised that the inhabitants of the building were of an ethnicity that would probably go better for a white kitchen.
Yes. Yeah.
And so white kitchens can be quite generic. So we made the decision to put that paneling in and to curve the bench, which
it's beautiful.
It cost about $3,000 extra.
Okay.
So I went over budget $3,000, but it paid off in spades.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and it's added something unique to it. As you can say, like some white kitchens can be quite stock standard. So to have the curve and the paneling is beautiful.
It is, yeah.
And so tell us about, like, obviously what made this so successful. Like you talked about budgeting, but what else? Because you did this is an amazing budget.
So we did this for $58,000.
Wow. And so what did you do for that $58,000?
So we did 1.5 bathrooms. The full kitchen strip out. We did some minor sort of floor plan changes, but we did floating floors, everything, window dressing, floor coverings, lighting, everything. One of the things with apartments, often they have a concrete ceiling, suspended concrete ceiling, so you don't have a lot of flexibility with the lighting. So in some areas we use track lighting, and we're a bit creative about that. So
yes, those pebbly cement ceilings, they're not very beautiful, are they?
No, and it is about knowing how much to spend, knowing where to spend it, and doing it in a time efficient way.
Yes. Okay. Great.
So So and of course, being COVID.
Oh yes.
We need to stay on top of trends, and the hobo is a term that was coined by Bernard Salt, the Australian demographer, and it refers to the need for a home office that can also be a broadcasting office.
Yes.
And so in our plans now, we always need to think about if someone's working from home, where will they work, and making sure that we can create a beautiful and functional space for that to happen.
Yes, to stop those Zoom conversations when someone's sitting on their bed.
Yeah, I know.
So this is beautiful. It's great. And as you say, if you can add that in. Was that a part of the original plan, or was it? No,
it was, because we were in lockdown when we started this project, so it was definitely something that we were talking about.
Yes.
And
Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. Okay, wonderful. So what would you say is the success for a renovation circle?
Okay, so the main thing with a renovation circle is the renovator must be very competent.
Okay.
Like, I would not put someone as a renovator, a newbie renovator, in something that you were buying, renovating and selling.
Okay, yes.
Because it is quite it's probably the riskiest strategy, and so you want to make sure that you've got someone that's got runs on the board and can manage the budget and knows how to make, because it's all about making decisions, and you need a little bit of experience, or at least have access to someone. So we have programs where we have women renovating in circles, but we support them. So if they've got to make a decision that they're not sure about, then we're able to come in and help them with that. So that is really key in that.
And a wonderful information, because I know, like, if I was doing one myself, that to have that support behind me to make sure that I not only was I making the right decision of the tile, but the contractors, the timeline, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly, And one example, and as I mentioned, that we had a couple of women in that group that have had not a great experience with their own reno.
Yes.
And when we came to auction night, the night before auction, we had a potential buyer ask for a longer settlement.
Okay, yes.
And the group was keen to say no to that because it would cost us an extra $2,000 in holding costs. But I said to them, look, if we could buy an extra bidder for $2,000, we'd do it every day of the week because it broadens our pool of. And they saw that immediately and agreed to that. And that woman actually pushed the price up by about $30,000 because the bidding had stopped. And had she not been there,
it would have stood a different price.
Yeah, so it's really great to see the example of your decisions. You don't often see that.
And someone with experience making those decisions.
Yeah. So that's probably the most important thing.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And so you've got another project started.
We do. So because we teach renovating, we like to have a live project going all the time.
Amazing.
So that our students have access to the back end and can see it, and it's not just all theoretical.
Yes.
And so up until recently, my husband and I would finance those, but we don't want to do flipping anymore. And so we just, one of our students actually suggested, she's a financial planner, and she suggested that we crowdsource via Property Circle, My Property Circles, the cash. And so they're seeing it as an opportunity to get involved and have the experience without having to have too much risk, but they've still got some skin in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And experience a project, like to have those people experience the project and have hands-on experience will just be so valuable.
It's actually working really well. We've got, it's up to them how involved they are.
Yes.
So I'm the only one that absolutely has to turn up.
Yes.
And they can please themselves, but they're all really wanting to get involved. And so we've got a landscaping team.
Yes, great.
We've got, and the other thing is that we've given one of the women the opportunity to be coached on the program. So she will be working on the project with me. So it's amazing. A great model.
Yeah. And
we love it.
Everybody has a part of the decision-making process as well in the renovation, which is really important.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're getting a really alive sort of learning experience.
Yeah, wonderful. And so we've just got a few pictures of this property. Do you want to speak a little bit about it?
Yes. Yeah. So we wanted to do a house because we do a lot of apartments, but with a house you have much more control.
Okay.
And in Sydney, if we're doing a house, we're talking about more than $2 million buy price.
Crazy.
And so we decided to go to Newcastle. We purchased this house under budget. So we went to auction and it came in lower than we thought.
Right.
And so we have got a bit more. So we work on a process called Cosmetic Plus. So it's a bit more than a purely cosmetic renovation. We're going to make some floor plan changes.
Okay.
But our architect has done the concepts and we're just going to show you now. But, first thing is deal with the ugliness of the front of the house because it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Lovely orange tone.
And that carport's just unceremoniously plonked
yes.
right in the front garden. So, so he's given us some concepts and also, so basically all of us got together online and he did these floor plan changes and we've figured out what we're going to do moving forward. So we'll go from a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, old-fashioned eating kitchen to a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom with master suite.
Yes.
And lovely open plan living opening onto a deck.
Great. And just to interrupt, but David is going to do one of these sessions in a couple of months. But so we'd love to have him involved because this is just exciting. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It's fun to watch too. Yeah. One of the questions we get asked is what sort of profit do we make? And generally we base our profit on 10% of the property value, the purchase price. So if we're buying something for between 900 and $1 million, we're looking at around about 100,000. Now, a lot of renovators do a lot better than that. It just really depends on the market.
Yes.
But we base it on conservative figures, and if we do better, well and good.
Yes, absolutely. And look, as you say, we'd love a crystal ball to know what the property market's doing. So it can go up and down, I'm sure, based on what's happening in an area, what's happening with the property, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah. So without any questions, we've just got this page up if you want to get in touch with us. So we've got Bernadette's details and our details. We'd love to hear from you and talk through what you're thinking whether it's renovating a property or getting into a property circle. We have all different types, from family circles to renovating circles to people doing developments. So the opportunities are endless, and we'd love to hear from you. So enjoy the rest of your Friday, and hope to hear from you soon. Thank you so much, Bernadette, for joining us.
Thank you, Amelia. It's been fun.
Yeah.